Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Jumalang, which means hello. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Lilian. I have been slacking on my videos, but I'm supposed to have at least 3 videos up a week. That's laughable, but yeah, we try. We try. I've been lazy though. So today I decided I have to do this video so that we can keep this thing going and keep a promise to myself that this March I'm going to try and upload, even if at least it's 2 videos a week, so that I'm not lagging behind. I've noticed that I'm not getting subscribers and my videos are not doing so well, and it's my fault, entirely my fault. I'm supposed to be uploading as frequently as I said I would, and that's supposed to help. But when all is said and done, here we are. So it is what it is. Thank you for subscribing. If you're new, welcome to the family. So today is story time. It's been a while since I've done a story time, and yeah, so today is one of those days and I decided to do a story time. Today's story time is pretty interesting. I'm gonna talk about stepmoms and how the things that I've gone through with my stepmom. I have 2 stepmoms, and I'm never gonna tell that story as to why I have 2 stepmoms. So I'm gonna have this video as video stepmom 1, and there's another one that will come after this one, which will be now my other stepmother and her drama with me. So back in 2006, I had just finished my senior secondary schooling. I used to school in St. Joe, that is in Gaborone. For those of you who don't know, I don't think I've ever even said where I went to school. Anyway, so yeah, that was back in St. Joseph's. I finished in 2005, that's from 5. And then in 2006, I was working. Then I decided, let me go to the States. My dad was in the States with his family. So we decided, let me go to the States. Clean up here. So that I can start living there, maybe do 1 or 2 courses there, and let me make this thing silent, otherwise it's gonna be ringing. So yeah, so 2006 I went to the United States. I was living with my dad. So it was my dad, my stepmom, my 2 brothers, 1 sister, an uncle, and me. So we were 7 people living in a 3-bedroomed apartment. It was small, but it was so much fun. I really enjoyed living there. First of all, because it was a family. It was my family, although it was the first time that I was meeting them. But number 1, we all shared the same name. I know this may be crazy to some of you, but for some of us who have never had other people have their name, it's I think it's a video for another day. But yeah, so the thing that I loved is we all had the same name, Omboke, which was pretty cool to me, because with my mom and my brothers, they all have different surnames, and I have a different surname, so I don't share the name. So yeah, I got to share a name. I got to live in a very close-knit family, or so I thought. No, it was a close-knit family. It's just that my mom was from, yeah. So and I was in school. I was going to Portland State University. I was doing my prerequisites for nursing. So those are the classes you take before you start your nursing school. Then I also did my CNA, which is a certified nursing assistant. I was going to school for that as well. So I was doing these 2 things, and I had a job. So my job was from what time was it from? I know it was at night. It was at night because I used to get home at midnight. My job was from 4 until 8. If I'm not wrong, it was from 4 until 8. Cause yeah. Then if my dad wasn't going to come for me, I'll take a bus and I'd arrive home around midnight. It was safe, so I could walk home. I used to drop off at around 11:45, then walk down to. We used to live in Oregon, in a place called Hillsboro. Yeah, Hillsboro. And so I could walk down the street and go home. I used to walk home. I remember I used to get home around midnight. So yeah, life was good. I had my own, sorry, looks like my Vaseline wants to do something. I had my own schedule, and so sometimes I would be the one left in the house in the morning, so I'd have to clean. And sometimes I'd also live with everybody else in the morning because everybody was either at school or at work. In the US, you're either working, you're schooling, or you're working. There's no in between. So my stepmom was a nurse. My dad is a nurse as well. Everybody else was in school. What was my uncle doing? I don't know what he was doing, but he was an awesome guy. He passed on, when was it? A couple of weeks ago. So yeah, I can't remember what, I think he was working. I can't remember what he used to do, but Jonathan, may your soul rest in peace. So yeah, my stepmom, number one, she was welcoming, but she was welcoming in an off-putting way. She had this thing that she used to do, like, yeah, you know, I don't know how else to put it. I used to clean with her, obviously, because it was the 3 ladies and the 4 men. So if I was home, I would clean, I would cook, and then she would obviously come home and find food, which was awesome, because she didn't have to cook. Sometimes she'd have to cook because of my schedule, because sometimes I'd leave really early, or I'd leave in the afternoon, so that would make it flexible for me to wash, clean, and cook. So we'd cook together, but every time I cleaned, she'd come and she'd clean again. I don't know why. I didn't bother asking her, and I never stopped cleaning. So that house was super clean. So she'd always repeat what I've done. That's number one. The only thing is she couldn't cook twice after I'd cooked. So she'd have to eat what I cooked. Then she loved reprimanding me. Like, if I did something wrong, she'd make a big deal out of it. But that didn't really bother me. It didn't really, I really didn't care for it, or it didn't bother me much, because at the end of the day, I wasn't her child. And yeah, I wasn't her child, so she could do whatever it is that she wanted. The other thing that really bothered her was my dad taught me how to drive. So what happens is you get yourself I think I still have it so many years later. I still have my, let me call it a permission to drive, as a what do you call it? I've just forgotten, but I had a license, but I had to drive with somebody who had a license. But you had to pass a test to get that permit. Let's call it a permit. And I did the test, and I passed. And so I got my permit, and that means I could drive with another driver who was licensed. She, on the other hand, had failed several times, so she couldn't drive yet. And she hated that my dad was teaching me. So what my dad would do is, after work, because my job finished at 8 in the evening, he would come pick me up. Then I would get to drive home. And if we were going somewhere with my dad, he'd let me drive, because the only way for me to learn was to drive. And these people drive on the wrong side of the road, so it used to mess with my head. So he made sure that I practiced, so that I could learn how to drive on the other side. They drove on the left. Yeah, so I used to come. One day we came home, I packed. Now, our apartment complex was in a way that when she looked out the window, she could see us when we got home from the kitchen. So she would get so mad, and she would get so mad. So my dad and I, what we did, or what he decided to do, was he would pick me up, pick me up, we'd drive to the other complex, switch, and then he'll drive home and park. That way, she'll only see that he was driving and not me. I still laugh when I think about that, but it works, because I got to drive. She never knew, and she never got mad. My dad, they didn't have to fight about it, and yeah, so that's how it worked. Then one time, my grandma in Kenya died. The one that I'm named after, Wangoi, she died. and that's my dad's mom. So he had to travel to Kenya for the burial of his mom. I remember that day vividly. We got ready. We had to take him to the airport, and we took him to the airport, and we came back using the train because I didn't have a license. She didn't have a license. I think we came back using the train and then a bus. So when we got home, to me, life was normal. To everybody else, my brothers and sisters and my uncle, we were chill, we were cool, we had a good relationship. But my mom, my stepmom, so as soon as we got home, I don't know what I did or what I needed. I ended up, you could go into any room, even in my parents' room. There were no rules against that, because the house was small, but most of our time was spent in the sitting room or in your room, because I shared a room with my two siblings. My uncle and my other brother shared a room, and then of course my parents' room. So I needed something in my parents' room, and I walked in there to get it. She found me. So she's like, listen here, your dad's gone, he's not here. He won't be here for a while because he'd gone for my grandma's funeral. I do not want to see you in this room. I never want to find you in this room. Whatever you're picking now, pick it. And if there's anything else left in here that belongs to you, pick it now, because I never ever want to see you set foot in this room. I have tolerated you enough, and enough is enough. So pick your shit. Sorry. Pick your stuff and go. I was shook. I did exactly what I was told, and I never stepped foot in that room. So when my dad got back from Kenya, we picked him up. Life was good. We mourned our grandma, of course. Then one day he realized something's different, because when my dad is around, the house is, number one, we are all happy, and sometimes we'll just go chill in his room and just talk or whatever. It was just a nice time when my dad was around. He realized that I was not going into his room, and he didn't understand why. So he calls me and he asks me what's up, and I told him, me, I was told never to come to your room, never to enter your room. I'm just following rules. And that brought a big fight. I still remember that day. So I was allowed back, but I was very cautious. I wouldn't do it when she was around. I didn't want to step on her toes. At the end of the day, this was her home, her people. I understood that. So yeah, my stepmom, and I think I could count the words we spoke to each other. She wasn't nasty. She was just mean in a nice way. Does that make sense? Mean in a nice way. So yeah, that was one stepmom. In fact, when I think about it, she treated me more as the other woman than the child, because at the end of the day, I was older than all her children. So okay, yeah, I was generally older than all her children, but I was still a child at that time. I was 20. I was a young adult. I was 20 because I remember I turned 21 in their house. I enjoyed my time there. I spent 9 months in that house. I enjoyed my time there. I had a few things that I didn't really enjoy or didn't like about the place, but it is what it is. Every home has issues, and there's so many more stories. I just chose these ones because these are the ones I vividly remember that stuck with me. But yeah, it's interesting when a stepmom treats you like the other woman, just because, yeah, I don't know just because why, but that's how it was. Anyway, that's stepmother number 1. There's still stepmom number 2 to go. I will be telling the story. I think it will be the video after this. So let's meet on the next video. I tell you about what my other stepmom did. That one will be shorter because we didn't live together. So yeah, but I'll include it. So thank you so much for watching my little story. You can share your evil stepmom stories down there in the comments below if you have any. Yeah, don't forget to like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel. We gotta grow the numbers. We are at 124 and I'm really grateful, but we've slowed down. So please remember to subscribe if you're watching this, and if you've reached the end of this video, thank you so much. You must really love me. Hey, what's there not to love? So until the next video, see you in the next video. Bye.